Dzień dobry. Nazywam się Miquel i to wszystko po polsku, co mogę mówić. Okay, so my name is Miquel Rodriguez, and that's all the Polish I can speak. Nice. I love Pac-Man. I love the topic of this conference, the visuals. So as I said, my name is Miquel Rodriguez. I'm the consulting director in a company called NetMind. We have office in Barcelona and Madrid. We've been recently acquired by the group BTS. It's a bigger group with presence in about 20 countries. And recently I wrote a book about Agile called La Empresa Ágil. So if you want to learn a little bit more about Agile and improve your Spanish, that's the perfect combo. And I want to explain something about myself. I'm from Barcelona, from Catalonia, so we speak in Catalan. And when we speak in Catalan, the rest of Spain says, oh, I don't know what you're saying, no sé lo que estáis diciendo. I don't know, for us it sounds like Polish. That's a true story. So they called us Polacos, Polish. So what we did with that? So if we are kind of funny people sometimes, we created a TV program called Polonia, Poland. So this has been the longest running show on Catalan television, 17 years with that humoristic program. For example, here you have our previous dictator, Francisco Franco, dressed up as Freddie Mercury. So it's kind of a funny program, and they've even wrote a book about Poland. We even had a musical theater called Polonia, Poland. Someone from Krakow here? Someone from Krakow? Okay, so there was a spin-off of that program regarding sports that was called Cracovia. So here you can see that program was on TV for about 10 years. Here you can see Messi, Luis Suarez, Neymar when they were in the Barça. So I feel like home here because I'm usually called Polaco, Polish. So I feel like home here in Krakow. And today I would like to talk about adaptive organizations. We will start by talking what are and what do we understand by adaptability, what is adaptive organizations. Then we will give some clues, some specific actions you can do to improve your adaptability. And then we'll say, okay, how are the next steps, how we can start the journey. And you can download the slides with that QR code in there. It will be bigger at the end of the presentation. So that's how I try to keep you here. So at the end, you will be able to download those slides. Let's start. Why being adaptive? Okay, we all suffered a pandemic many years ago, about 3 years ago. And only the companies who were able to adapt survived that. And we may have some other events like that one. For example, what Nicholas Taleb calls the black swans, like the First World War, or the appearance of the internet that was kind of a positive, some crisis. So we need to be ready for market changes. We need to be ready when things are not what we expect. Those are kind of negative things. There are only positive things for that. We have a great idea. We need to be able to put that idea into the market as soon as possible. Or there's a new disruptive technology. So how can we take advantage of this disruptive technology? Or the main reason our customers may have new needs, we need to be able to adapt and fulfill those needs. So this is our definition of what are adaptive organizations. I'll let you read it. So adaptive organizations designed to quickly adjust. What does quickly means? For example, Manuel Pais, in his book, Team Topologies, when he talks about business agility and companies that make quick decisions, he said in hours. Do our companies are able to make decisions in just a few hours, important decisions? And those companies need to modify competencies. This means the skills of the people. I may need some artificial intelligence skills. Do we have them? Can we learn it? Can we acquire this talent from outside? About the mindset. How can we change our mindset? Our organizational structure, the way we are organized, or our ways of working, our processes. And we adjust those elements to respond to new challenge because of changes in the market, because of new technologies, new economic scenarios, or whatever may come. So, what distinctive characteristics have we observed in adaptive organizations? We work with thousands of companies, from retail, from banking, insurance, telco, pharma. And we've seen that some companies are more adaptive and some others are not so adaptive, they're slower. And when we try to see some common patterns, what have we seen in those organizations? Okay, we'll start with 4 common things that we've seen. They're really customer-centric, they are always delivering and always prioritizing, they are very fast in making decisions, aligned decisions. It's not about making a quick decision and that's it, it's proper decisions, and they are resilient. Let's go a little deeper on those characteristics that we've seen. So, companies that are customer-centric, they are always listening to the customers. And they are able to detect market change. They have this business ability to say, yeah, I think the market is going to be this way, that way, because they're always having conversations with their stakeholders. And they get this feedback and they get this customer data to make decisions focused on the customers. Also, they are always delivering and they're always prioritizing. And they know prioritize meaning it means also discard things. So they are good at pivoting, at discarding, because they're always reviewing their priorities and they are delivering value as early as possible. They are organized around value streams, but they can change it, but there's a continuous flow of work. Also, we realize that how can they make these decisions so fast? Because they empower the teams, they empower the people. They decentralize decisions, they collaborate. They have low bureaucracy. And thanks to that, they are resilient. When something goes wrong, they say, okay, no problem, let's continue. Let's learn from that. They have what we call a coherent culture. We're going to talk about that later on. So, all of those characteristics, that doesn't mean they're the only ones, but there are some of those that we've seen on some companies. So what I would like you, let's have a 2-minute conversation with the colleague that you have next to you, and let's see which of those better resonates with you. It can be either, oh, I think we are really good on listening to our customers, or I think we are really good on having a continuously prioritization, or it can be, oh, we are really bad on decision making. For us, a decision takes hours. We have a lot of bureaucracy. So you can decide whether go to the positive or not so positive way. 2 minutes, talk to each other, and then we come back. Okay? Go. Okay. Okay. So just a quick survey. Who decided to talk about positive things like, oh, we do this? Okay. Who decided to go the other way around? We don't do that. Okay. A lot of hands up in there. Okay. So thank you. What we've seen is those are just a few examples. Those are just a few examples. But adaptive organizations, I think they do a lot of things in different dimensions. So what we've done is we've took all of those things and several others, and we tried to create our own model of what is business agility and what should adaptive organizations do. So we've created those 10 dimensions of business agility for adaptive organizations. By the way, this is the first time that this is shown in public. So we are still work in progress, but I thought it was a good idea to get feedback. So what we say is we've separated on 3 main areas: the human part, so it's about people, it's about leadership, about the culture. We have also the value generation and delivery. How are our processes? How do we take advantage of technology? And there's also the organizational side. How do we do the governance, the strategy, how are we organized? And in the center, the customer, those 10 dimensions. I won't go deeper on those. I prefer to take some specific examples of what can we do. So let's go to the next step, how to design and how to improve the adaptability. And adaptability, it's not a binary thing. It's gradual competence. You can improve your adaptability in order to be more adaptive. So today we're going to see 6 different things, 6 specific things that you can do to increase your adaptability based on some of those dimensions. So we're going to see those. We're going to go into each one of those, and then try to take some learnings from this. So first thing you can try to reduce what we call the cultural dissonance. What is cultural dissonance? Cultural dissonance is when you say something, but what you do is another thing. So you say, oh yes, we are a company really cared about environment, and yes, we are a green company, and then you are throwing things to the sea, or you are cheating on your smoke test of your cars, or you are, okay, so, and this is like at the company level, but it can be also at an individual level. It can be, okay, yes, we need to be collaborative, we need to be, and then you do things on your own. So, and it's not that are better behaviors or worse. It's just that though your behaviors match your values. Your behaviors match what you're saying. So we helped a company it was a brand new company, a spin-off from a bigger one, and they said, okay, we want to create a new culture. So what we did is we reviewed the mother company values. Then he said, hey, are those aligned with what we are trying to do in here? We did some workshops. We asked for expected behaviors. And then what we did is we reinforced those behaviors within the company. And we encourage to disapprove when there was something that it was not aligned, it was incoherent. We encourage people to disapprove these kind of behaviors. This helped to reduce this cultural dissonance within the organization. Another example, how can we increase our customer centricity? We had a great idea about a new training, and we thought, oh, companies are going to love that. Our customers are going to love this. And before actually preparing that service, what we said, okay, why don't we ask to our customers if they really want this? So what we did is we did a workshop with some people from the people department, human resource department, and we invited them to the workshop. Hey, here's an idea that we had. So can we have a workshop with you to validate that? And we, on that workshop, we checked for their needs, their jobs to be done, and we discovered that it wasn't such a good idea as we thought, and also we discovered some hidden pains that they had. So with that, we validated a new value proposition canvas, and then we did an internal pilot, and then we actually launched that service. But it saved us a lot of time to actually ask our customers about, oh, this is really needed or not. Probably you're familiar with some of those diagrams here. So on design thinking, we start not because something it's easy to do, it's feasible to do it, or because we think we're gonna have money from that. We don't start by, is it feasible, is it viable? We start by, do you want this? Is it desirable? That is the first question. And it's just asking them. So, another way to improve your adaptability by increasing your customer centricity. Let's go for another one. Try to be fast to respond to emergent challenges. When pandemic started, half of our companies suddenly had nothing to do. So what we did is, okay, what we think it can be useful in that situation. So we decided to create 4 new trainings, how to train the trainers for virtual environment, leading virtual teams, this kind of things, how to work in remote. All of those were things that were already in our backlog, but were really in the bottom. So we created 4 teams, each team focused on one new solution, and we sent our customers this email that you see here, and we told them, hey, we are designing these new trainings. Would you like to attend to a pilot and give us some feedback for free? And we collected some of those customers. We delivered this for free pilot edition. That forced us to have a deadline, by the way. And in 10 days, we delivered that pilot edition. We collected some great feedback. We changed a few things. And the first customer paying delivery was in less than 3 weeks. Some of the competition, it took for them 3 months or even more. So it's about focus, it's about cross-functional team dedicated to something with active collaboration from the customer. Another one, reduce the delivery size. Yesterday, we had Douglas Squirrel talking about slicing the Carpaccio things. Do you remember? Sometimes we have the concept of MVP. I really like this approach. I don't know if you're familiar with those acronyms. Let's try to distinguish when you do something to learn, but that's not going to be in the market, or when you deliver something that actually the customer is willing to. Distinguish between what we call an MVP from the lean startup and a minimum business increment. Invest also in automation. Can we make things faster? So then the transaction cost is lower, so then the batch size can be lower. So invest in delivering smaller pieces faster and then getting your feedback, co-creating that with the customer. Go to the customer and say, hey, is this something that you may start using right now? That's a very good question we can do to our customers. Another thing, we are in complex organizations, it's better if we visualize how are we organized. And I'm sure that you may distinguish that visual in the middle from Spotify. That visual helped a lot for that model to get spread and adopted because it was easy to understand. So let's use visuals for understanding things. Create a visual approach of your network of relationships. Haier, for example, this Chinese company, created his own management model based in micro enterprises and micro communities and visualized their network and their relationship. They have been a really successful company sending those appliances, those apparels. So visualize your organization. Create a model with the relationship, not only the hierarchical organigram. And the last one, try to increase your what we call reteaming skills. There's a really nice book from Heidi Helfand that it's called Dynamic Reteaming. So the purpose, are you familiar with the Tuchman model, forming, storming, norming, and then performing, the way that a team improves? What Heidi says is, we don't have time for that. We need to be really fast on that. It's like, for example, you have a crew on an airplane with a pilot and hostesses, and so how fast this team needs to be performing? How can we improve our ability to create and I was going to say destroy, but I'm sure that's a better word, to create and dismantle teams? So let's be good on that. How can we do that? You can, for example, run a hackathon with teams that are not the usual, the ones that they're usually working with. And we force them to collaborate in a really short period of time. Or you can create an innovation program where people self-organize and they come from different areas of the company. We actually do that, and it works really, really well. And try to distinguish, okay, what common patterns are good for creating teams, like the book from Manuel Pais, Team Topologies. Be good on that. Be good on finding those patterns, and then you'll discover if it's better if you need T-shaped people or cross-functional, but be good on creating and dismantling teams fast. Okay, so those are just 6 examples from those dimensions, but what I do recommend is find your own other examples, find your own other dimensions, find your other things you may do, and create, okay, let's create a program that is with this initiative, this, and that. Try to increase those areas. And then measure, and then another one. Okay, and this is easy to say and to visualize, so let's go for the last part, some steps you may take in this journey to adaptability. It's just a 4 steps thing. Ready, it's not ready, steady, go. It's ready, go, even though you're not ready yet. But do not overplan. You cannot waterfall a transformation. You need to go incrementally. You need to start. Do not overplan. And you cannot have consultants, outside consultants, lead your transformation, lead your change. So it needs to be led internally. You may have some help in co-creating this, but it needs to be led from within. And then, when you start, okay, let's experiment things. We are in a complex environment. Let's measure the progress, prioritize things, and you're going to fail at some point. Okay, ask for feedback, learn from that experience, pivot if it's necessary. And this knowledge that has been creating in this process, you need to make that knowledge go across the whole organization. You need to focus on knowledge transfer, on what we call organizational learning. There's a metric. How long does it take to learn something? You need to learn fast. But it's not only about learning. Then you need to react to things. You need to act fast. When you merge those two, you have adaptive organizations. Adaptive organizations require that the whole organization learn fast and act fast. And obviously the journey continues. So here you have some books that inspired us to learn all of those things. Some of them are really good. This team topologies, Rethinking Agile from Klaus Leopold and Flight Levels, that dynamic reteaming. So just some source of inspiration for you. And I'm going to use how the Catalan Polonia program ends. This is how it ends. So, Cognac. Thank you all of you. I'll be here if you have some questions, and thank you. Okay.
Thank you very much, Miquel.